guys, welcome to day number 27. So anyway guys, we are almost at the end. So this is a video that I love talking about, but before that, sorry, word of the day guys, word of the day: accountability. And this is a very much a word that you can write a lot about, and this is a word of the day for a journal mood. So we are going to talk about now Caribbean books. So I got my journal, and this year, let's see, how many did I read? I read 19. So my goal every year, I said, if I can get to 25. And this is the closest I've got to it. Normally I read about 16. So this year I did really good. I committed, I remember, in June. And I, for the first time, read only Caribbean book. And I believe I read 10 books in June. Let's see what it says on here. June. So June, yes, I read 10 books, and they were all Caribbean books. So a chunk of this book was read in 1 month. So I'm very happy about it. So we're just gonna go to rundown on this. I have reviews on this, so I will put reviews in the description. This video is not about reviewing them, it's more so to show you what I read, what country, and what I loved, what was okay, that kind of deal. So we have Black Cake, of course. That is a popular book, and surprisingly, it is the most viewed video that I've had. That is a review, most reviewed video this year, and which I was surprised. But apparently, a lot of people wanted to read Black Cake, and my review popped up on their, I guess, their list all the time. So I was surprised, but I enjoyed it. It wasn't a perfect book. It wasn't an original in terms of the storyline, but I enjoyed it. I did like the historical part of it, that some of the things that I knew of, and some of the things that I was learning because of where some of the events happened. But again, represent Jamaica. Then we have Marlon James, Spider Witch, Moon Witch, Spider King. I enjoyed this one. This was a sequel, and it was, to me, I can see why people loved it more than the first one, but I enjoyed both. I such a fan of his writing and his quirkiness, and it's out there, and this one was out there, and it's not your typical fantasy. It's not the typical book I would read, but it's Marlon James, so I tend to really pick him up whenever he releases something. But it's not a Caribbean, of course, but he is a Jamaican author. Then Medine Trials, and that is Patricia Powell. Now this is the first novel that I read from this author, but I have read her a short story collection that she contributed to, and I knew I wanted to read more of her books. Love this. It is a family drama. A lot of things happening in this, a lot of emotional things, but I really enjoy this one. Of course, Jamaica. Then we have The Bread the Devil Kneel, and this one was on the, I believe it is shortlisted the Women's Prize. That's the reason why I read it, but I still have not had a physical copy of this book, and I need it. I need a physical copy. I love the cover, and this is one of those books that initially I was scratching my head like, what the hell? But the more I read it, the more I understood the storyline, the more I get the importance of the book, the more I was like, okay, yeah, this is a book that I do recommend people reading. And this is a Trinidadian author. When We Were Birds, and love this one. Definitely out of my comfort zone. Not the kind of book I would normally read, but I did enjoy it. And the double story was like, wait a minute, but I enjoyed this one, and this is a Trinidadian author. Black Shat Alley, which I've talked about several times on this channel. I even watched the movie. Don't do it. But I enjoy this. It's a classic, and it's Martinique, and I love that I was able to get a really good translated piece from this author who is beloved in the French classic world. Then we have Lucy by Jamaica Kincaid, one of my favorite books this year. this book was a personal read, and I talked about what a personal read is, where that book that you connect to in so many ways, that you love. You don't care what nobody said, you don't care what people's opinion about the book. That book is always going to be in display, because when you think of that book, you see bits and pieces of the young you, the you that you have grown out of, the you that you have accepted the flaws. And I love how this is just a young girl, and the things that she talks about, the things you missed that you didn't think you were going to miss because you thought you hated it so much, and then you later on realize, no, I'm going to want it back. Yes, yes. And then the author, Antigua. And then you have Sweetheart. This is a Jamaican author, Lisa Mackenzie. I've read 3 books now by the author. Love them. Love them. And this one was, I thought it was a short story, I realized it's not. It is a novel, but it feels like a short story because of how the stories are like an interlock kind of situation, but it's a novel. Enjoy this. Then you have A Small Place. It's another Jamaica Kincaid. When I tell you, raw, tell you how it is, I love this. This was a short one. This was a non-fiction. And I did a non-fiction video and I forgot this. So I did read 3 non-fiction this year. Lord, how did I forget this one? Oh my goodness, yeah. So if you watch my non-fiction video, then you know. Then we have Bivouac. And this is a poet, Jamaica. And this one, no. I didn't love this one. Something was a little off on this one. We couldn't do it. We couldn't get into it like we want. Something was off. But he's a poet, and I really want to get into his poetry because he's well known and he got so many recognition for his poems. You have Sweet Han. This is supposed to be a romance, and this is Trinidad. Nothing about this felt like Caribbean romance. Absolutely. I was like, where? It did not hit me with a Caribbean. Nothing about this felt Caribbean. Not even if, I mean, you can write Caribbean romance where they're not in the Caribbean. They're in a different country, but still give you something that you felt like the people were Caribbean. Nothing. I didn't feel it. Pleasant View. Celeste Muhammad. This was the group read for Caribbean. I made her twice this year. She was amazing. I love that this was intended to be a short story collection, and she decided to make it a novel, so it reads like a short story collection because each chapter is different people, but they are all connected to one story. So that's how she did it, but it is well done. This is a well done book. Fire and Montserrat. I would never recommend you reading this. If you pick it up, do not put me next to this book and say I recommend it, because I will never recommend this book to anybody. I'm not even putting up a damn picture. That's how much I do not want y'all to go read this damn book. But yes, Montserrat. Breath, Eye, Memory. And Edward Danny Cat. And Edward Danny Cat, to me, is that author that really, she can't write. She Haitian. I should come with it. And this one is another painful, sad tale, but at the same time, it's that read that you just want to read because there's something in it that you're gonna grasp, and you're gonna think, and you're gonna shake your head, and you're gonna be like, damn, this author know to write. Yeah. Revolution Sunday, and this is Cuba, Wendy Guerrera. Yeah, and this is Cuba. I picked up about 3 books. It's the only one I was able to get to. That is Cuba, and I was happy about that. And so I was happy with that. And then you have Slave Woman, and this one is Martinique, yes. Again, this one is based on a true story. It is fiction, but it's based on a true story. Another one of those moments in the Caribbean that is a part of our history. Yeah. Then you have Sister Mother Warrior. Vanessa Riley, love her. Love her. I love her commitment to writing these historical fiction that is based on real women of the Caribbean, and in this is Haiti, and these are women. These are two women who were a part of the Haitian Revolution, who had a significant role in the Haitian Revolution. Sorry, and that sometimes the men are the one that you see and hear of. You don't hear the women. You don't even realize women were always there, and these two women were the pioneer in so many ways of the struggle that that these people went through, that some still suffering from it if you think about it. Yeah. But I highly recommend it. I think if you are heavy on the historical fiction, you like historical fiction, you will enjoy this because it's very heavy on historical fiction. So if you're not a huge historical fiction fan, you might not want to get into some of this, because she went there. She did her research. She did a research. And a lot of times people don't realize that the Haitian Revolution was long. It wasn't this quick fight and that was it. It is years of struggle to get there, and years of torture in a lot of ways, and starvation and death and all these things that they had to endure. And sometimes the decisions aren't the greatest, but when survival kick in, you gotta do what you gotta do. So it's the good, bad, and the ugly you will get from this. Then I read a memoir of an island girl, and this one is Trinidad Cotisha, and this one is based on the author's grandmother, as well a little bit about the author's mother as well. It is very short. It's one of those journal entry style memoir, and of course it leaves you with, okay, I want more. Where's the rest of the book? I want more. That kind of deal. And then the other one I'm going to put, because she identified as Haitian American. So this is Jaco. I didn't like it. It was flat. It was one of those build up, and then when you get to the top, you're like, where's the view? Where's this beautiful sight you're supposed to see and you don't see it? I literally went through so many metaphors of what this book did to me. So if you haven't seen, I don't remember what day it was, but I just recently did it this month. And it is a thriller. It was flat. It was flat. She needed to add something else. It didn't give what it's supposed to give, that kind of reaction. And I believe there's one that I might finish. I did start, but I didn't finish, and that's also Caribbean. So if as planned, I might get to the 20 if I finish this book this month, which most likely will. But yeah, guys, this is all the books that I read as Caribbean, and I love that I'm able to pick up from different countries. I'm still seeking smaller countries. I'm still really hunting for that good, feel good Caribbean romance. I know RZA is good at that, but I need more. I need some. Not only that, I want the old stuff. Where's that old 90s, maybe the 90s, or even the late 80s, the 90s, even those classic romance that were out there that is no longer in freaking print. That pissed me off. I forgot the name of the author, but every time his name will pop up, and then when you go to get his book, it's not in publication. So I don't know where these people are with these books. I don't know if somebody know a vintage place that sell these books that are no longer in publication, because maybe they have copies, some old copy. I would take a used copy. I don't care. I just want these old 80s, late 80s, early, all the 90s are at this point, Caribbean romance, because they were there. They were published. They were published at one point. So that's where my frustration is coming from. So anyway, we're gonna end this here, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys. Bye.